Sedans on the used market are quickly dwindling, even more so when you talk about luxury brands.
Now, not only are sedans diminishing quickly, but they're also plagued with high maintenance costs, terrible depreciation, and all of them go after one thing, it seems like.
But there is one car that still stands out to both of us, and that is a car that really hasn't changed the recipe since it came out.
For decades, the Lexus ES has stood for one thing above all: effortless luxury. From its early days as one of Lexus's original sedans, the ES has always prioritized comfort, craftsmanship, and a driving experience designed to feel calm and composed. The ES 350 Ultra Luxury carries that legacy forward. Smooth V6 power, a whisper quiet cabin, and premium details that turn every drive into an escape. The ES isn't about speed or spectacle, it's about refinement that's been perfected over multiple generations.
Hello everyone and welcome to Performance on Wheels. My name is Todd. My son Austin and I, we make all sorts of different videos on all sorts of different cars. We do everything from a $5,000 clapped out daily driver to high horsepower tire shredding machines to even plush luxury cruisers. If you could do us a big favor, because you guys seem to be supporting us, hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button is really important, but 97% of you do not do it. Do us a favor, support this father-son team, hit that subscribe button. Now let's ride in luxury.
Let's start off this video by talking about what the heck even is an ES 350. It's been out for so dang long now. What exactly is this car? And well, pretty easy question to answer. This is a Toyota Camry. However, coming from the Lexus brand, it is dipped in luxury. They change up some of the front panels, they change up some of the back panels while still keeping the same body lines all throughout. However, when we hop on the inside, it's hardly noticeable at all that this was a Camry at one point, because they've changed up all the materials, all the designs, and kind of threw in their Lexus touch to really make it feel quite special.
Very true. The 3.5 liter V6 with a tick over 300 horsepower has been around since 2019. That is with the 300 horsepower. That 3.5 has a very long lifespan. 8-speed transmission, just like you're going to find over at the Camry. Dimensions are almost identical to a Camry. The ES is just a tick wider and a tick longer. Then the question is this bigger than an Avalon? And the answer is no. The Avalon is still a bigger car. A couple important dates to note is 2019. That is when the latest generation of the ES 350 came out. And then in 2022, like you guys are viewing in today's video, that was another big refresh for the ES 350. Some notable items there is the infotainment change. It always used to be sunk in quite a bit, and they actually moved it out about 4.5 inches closer to the driver so that you can actually utilize that touch screen. And we'll get into that in the interior in just a moment.
And another reason this video is so important is the ES is done. Lexus is canceling all sedans other than the LS from about 2026 or 2027 forward, I believe. So sedans are done. So we're now just basically looking at the used market and seeing what one of these is like now that it's used for almost $40,000. Starting off up front, this is immediately identifiable as your core Lexus product with that grille that kind of cuts through the body line and shapes it with sway all the way throughout, and it looks really good. Over the last few years, Lexus headlights and taillights have been some of my favorite on the market. They just look so sweet, and these ones are right up there as well. You get that super aggressive and jagged LED that you can find on a variety of other ones of their products, and they just look super cool. They stand out and they look really mean in your rear view mirror. It looks menacing dead on. Just those jagged lines on the front end of this thing really stand out.
It is quite incredible, and if you look closely at the headlights, you will see the tri-beam LED projectors there, which is an upcharge, that isn't standard. But boy, does it make this ultra luxury sedan stand out driving down the road. Looking at the side of the ES 350, I have to be slightly underwhelmed because a little bit of the Camry sticks out. However, I do really like the two-tone mirrors, and if you look up top, you get a glimpse at that panoramic sunroof, which you don't find often in sedans, especially one that had a starting MSRP of $55,000. This thing is quite incredible. I love the inside, and again, let's get there in just a minute.
And when you wrap that around the side, I love how the trunk kind of slopes in as a nice cue. It's just a really good look, but I have to admit this rear quarter looks identical to the Toyota Camry. It looks the exact same. There's quite a few times that if you look at it right, you do think it's a Camry. However, I'm not dismissing that at all. I do think it looks quite nice. And around back, we get those taillights that I was talking about. They just tie the rear end of this car together so well. There's not a single part of the exterior of this car that I think looks bad. And I should even throw those wheels in there as well. The wheels on this ultra luxury model look quite nice. Finished chrome or a finished silver, and they have a really good look to them. They look quite high end. Let's talk about the inside.
You always weigh the back seat of a luxury car. How good it is, it really tells you the overall quality that went into it. If the comfort and design carries into the back seat, you know it's a special place. In the ES 350, especially in the ultra luxury, it really does do a good job of that. Now, a few of the things that stand out to me is the different color variation as well as the texture. From the saddle color to the charcoal leather with the saddle stitching to the beautiful wood grain that goes across the rear door panels. It really does a great job of carrying the design from the front to the back. I love the plushness of the seats, and they also have just the slightest little bolstering that cups you in the back. Now, at 6 feet tall, I have more than enough room for my legs. My head has plenty of space as well, although there is a slightly odd roof design because of not only the rear light back here, but the panoramic sunroof. I can adjust my headrest. There's a nice place to put my arms when the doors are closed. And if I'm feeling the need for a little extra privacy, I have 3 different window shades. The 2 on the doors are manual, not only the main one, but there is also the small window that has the shade. The rear shade is only operated from up front, but still it creates a very private place to be that you can put hundreds, if not thousands of miles on, sitting comfortably in the back seat as an adult.
Hopping into the front seat of the ES, just the second you open the door, it feels special because of what my dad mentioned. That tri-tone door panel just looks fantastic, and that upgraded Mark Levinson sound system might just be worth it because of that speaker grill and the way that it ties into the door. It just looks elegant. Now, unlike my dad, I do have seat controls up here on the driver's side. I am able to choose my 1, 2, 3 spots, and in the sense of saving memory seat settings, as well as having all the controls for the windows and stuff like that. Moving on from the door panel, as soon as I'm sitting here behind the wheel, I love how Lexus uses that wood trim around the wheel. It just feels so elegant, so luxurious. And these little paddle shifters, they're just such a nice touch. It's a great feeling wheel. It feels nice in the hand. And sitting in the seat itself, up front we do have heated seats, we had cooled seats, we have a heated steering wheel. It's just so comfortable and luxurious feeling in here. All of the amenities and luxury features that you could possibly want in a luxurious vehicle. But there is some really cool stuff that I want to point out inside of here that they did. So one of the things that I really like is the tune for the radio is with the same knob as the volume for the radio. So it's kind of a unique feature that they did. I also like how we have physical buttons for our climate control, yet we also have the option to kind of change some stuff by going through our screen. One of the other things that's cool is it is a touchscreen display, but we can also use this little touchpad down here on the bottom. Now, I must admit, it does take quite a bit of getting used to, but once you are used to it, it actually navigates quite well, and there's some cool things that you can do with it. And I love the touch capacitive feedback from it as well. It feels really cool to use. Now, one of the other things I really think is unique in the engineering in the Lexus here is its cup holder. Now, of course, we Americans like to have our big gulps at every now and then, so this cup holder is capable of doing that. You simply just push this little panel down and put your big gulp in there, or your tall Stanley or whatever. You shove it down in there. However, let's say you have a little cup. You got a little coffee cup or whatever you're doing, right? You simply just push this button and your cup holder now shrinks in size, so your cup is elevated higher up. I just think that's such a unique feature to make use out of one singular cup holder. A couple of other things to touch on in the interior. This wood that wraps around it, this nice thin layer of LED out throughout the bottom of it is just the perfect touch of luxury. And I also like how responsive this digital display cluster is for your driver systems, and the heads-up display is also quite great as well. Now, let's also quick mention on the center console here, I like how it opens from both the driver and the passenger side, and we also have the availability to set our phone down in the center, and it uses this kind of rubber material so it doesn't feel like your phone will fly off at all. And we can also turn on and off our wireless charger from right inside of that glove box there. So your phone is out of the way, you can still use your phone up on your screen, and it's just everything that you need. However, I do have one major gripe with this car, and that's its cameras. We made sure to clean off the exterior cameras of this vehicle before we tested this. The exterior cameras on this vehicle are terrible, just terrible. And Lexus must have thought they were doing some crazy technology with whatever this is. But I mean, what is this? You change the color of your car and you're like in some oval? This does absolutely no good at any time. I can't think of any moment where I've thought, wow, that would be really useful. I mean, even in the dealer show floors, I can't imagine showing that to customers back when this car was new and thinking, this is a really cool feature. And I would just rather have a higher quality camera than whatever this is. Just even the backup camera itself is a little bit grainy. Enough talk about the interior. Let's set off and drive the ES350. Holy cow! That 301 horsepower 3.5 liter V6 gets up and goes quicker than you would think. However, it can't put the power down as nicely as you would like, being front wheel drive. So it has a little bit of torque steer, it does a little bit of shimmy up front, but actually it kind of adds to the personality of the car a little bit. I kind of like how it almost feels a little bit squirrely. It makes it kind of fun. It makes it feel like you're in something quick when you put the pedal down. 301 horsepower does allow for about a 6.5 second 0 to 60 time, which is, it's respectable. It's not very fast by any means, but it gets the job done and you get up to speed as you need to be. But of course, speed is not what this car is about. Now we need to talk about what I think is super impressive about this car. The sound deadening on the interior. It's silent in here. I can't hear anything outside. It feels so isolated from the outside world because of that. It's just a very nice feeling. Unlike a lot of cars from today's day and age, it just feels secluded in here. It feels very nice. It feels very elegant. I like how that dash is so far up and curves around. It feels like such a nice spot to be, and everywhere that you put your arms, everywhere you look, is wrapped in a luxurious material, which makes it feel high-end and it makes it feel above some of its competitors. Even newer BMWs don't necessarily have the same level of textures all throughout the interior and some of their sedans that compete with this.
I have to admit, going into this, I was thinking, here we go, a rebadged Camry, but I was quite impressed. I am a sucker for a luxury cruiser, and not only is the front seat of the ES350 absolutely fantastic, but even the back seat I was genuinely overly impressed with. It was super comfortable. I had more than enough room. It's quite incredible. It's a great place to be. You throw it in with the powerful 3.5 and the reliability that comes with that. This is kind of the I am smart and wise with my money vehicle that you purchase.
But there's a few things that I can't talk positively about this car. One, this was a $55,000 vehicle and still $40,000 to this day that's front wheel drive but gets 26 miles per gallon. There's all-wheel drive competitors on the market that get that gas mileage, if not better, while having more power. It doesn't have that same nameplate of reliability, but it's just showing a little bit of age inside of that powertrain and fuel economy performance here in the Lexus, especially for the price point that it's at. However, that price point definitely feels quite high-end on the used market when we're talking about the interior, because there's just nothing that's not wrapped in that Lexus touch that really makes it stick out and feel elegant and high-end in there. This is a fantastic vehicle to get you from point A to point B comfortably, reliably from now till the end of time, but it doesn't carry anything else beyond that. It's luxurious, it's great to drive, it's easy to drive. I do wish the cameras were a little bit better, like I touched on when we were in the interior. Other than that, I think this thing is great. Let us know your thoughts on the ES down in the comments below.